what are the key signs where we know we have an issue as an organisation where our conversational muscle is really weak?
The key sign is when there's no sign. So the worst, the worst possible level of communication is when there is none. And this is not just, no news is good news. It's definitely not that. So what we know about the way humans interact and the level of health around conversational intelligence, if you like, in the workforce, is that when your people aren't talking to you, that is a clear sign that it is not a healthy culture of conversation. So we're not creating those containers of conversational safety where people feel that they can speak into the space at whatever level. So I call this lumpy carpet syndrome, right? Something goes wrong. I'm not going to tell my boss. I'm not going to raise it so it gets solved. I'm just going to sit on it, and it's going to go underground, and it's going to sit under that carpet. And eventually that carpet becomes so lumpy that we end up tripping all over the place, right? Because there's so much in there. So no sign is the worst sign. When discontent goes underground, we face a really big problem. The next level is if people are showing skepticism, or maybe they're a bit scared or they're a bit hesitant, that's actually a good sign. That means we're making progress. If people are willing to say, oh, we've done this before, or, I remember last time we did that change program, it'll never work. It doesn't matter. It's a good sign that they're willing to engage. That's healthy. What we really want, though, is we want people operating at a level where they feel that they can speak their mind. And there's 3 levels for this, and I call this dangerous dialogue, right? So we want, if we're trying to measure the health of a conversational culture in an organization, you can tell by these 3 levels of dangerous dialogue. So the first level is, do people feel safe to speak up? And this is just speaking, as in, hey, I've got a great idea. Cookie, why don't we not work from home anymore, or whatever the idea is, right? So can I give my contribution? Level 1. Level 2, can I speak out? Can I challenge your idea? You say we need to work from home. I go, no, that's ridiculous. We need to stay in the office. So challenging ideas is number 2. And the third one is, do I feel that I have permission, and is it safe for me to challenge your behaviors? And this is the key one. So this is a really telling cultural marker that I think we overlook. So I talk with people, I coach leaders on their ability to communicate and influence and have impact. And they say, yeah, my team's really good. The culture's really strong. I feel like we've got a really healthy conversation. People always speak up. I go, excellent. That's really great. Question, are they willing to give you direct feedback? Ooh, well, I don't know. If you haven't got the feedback, the answer is probably no. If your direct report has given you confronting and challenging feedback about maybe something you've said to them, how you've handled yourself, whatever the case is that feels really dangerous for them to give, that's actually a sign of a healthy conversational culture.
How do leaders start to assess or take recognition or address some of those conversational silos that you're talking about? Like, if they aren't hearing anything, what's the first step?
Well, the first thing is to notice that it's, they're not getting contributions. People aren't even offering ideas, right? So if you're, and I see this happen in the workspace, and you and I have had this conversation, where right now we've got a bunch of leaders who are saying things like, our people, they're disengaged. They're not, they say the right things, but they're not taking action. They're not driving change, the messy middle, the middle layer, the forgotten layer of management. We're well informed at the top. We try and push it through the middle management layer, but we're just not getting that traction. Like, what's going on in that layer? Yeah. And so for me, I'm thinking about things like, well, if people aren't doing what they say they're going to do, or they're not doing it well, or they seem somehow disengaged, I'm asking myself, what's going on with the culture, right? So what conversations aren't being had in that moment? And so if people are doing things like, if I'm not driving the change, or I'm not doing as I said to you that I would, as a leader, I'm asking, is this person capable? Are they overwhelmed? Are their priorities unclear? is there something else going on that's preventing this execution of what we've all agreed is going to happen but isn't happening? And if those things are going on and I don't know about it, the problem sits culturally with me, because it means I haven't created that container of safety where people feel like we can be in conversation. So now they're having the water cooler conversations. We're having side conversations. If people are escalating rather than collaborating, that's a problem, right? If people are blaming rather than taking accountability, which is what we often see at that level, not at that level in particular, but around the place, then we know people aren't feeling engaged. One of the key things for that, when you talk about how do we address this, something I talk about a lot in my building coaching cultures in a workplace is this idea that when you take a coach approach, i.e. you're asking questions, you're inviting perspectives and contributions, is that people are 5 times more committed to their own ideas. 5 times more committed to their own ideas. So you can tell someone what to do, and if they're not doing it, you want to ask yourself, how committed are they to your idea? And if they come up with their own,
no, keep going.
If they come up with their own, it might not be as perfect as yours, but if they are more committed to it, it will get done.